beautiful Thursday evening, and you know what time it is. It's time for Gospel PR on Dominion TV. This is where we bring you all the gist in the Christian entertainment space, right from spoken word to music, to dance, to urban gospel. We got it covered. My name is Dave Hazel. I'm a living the personal beat. You know that the enemy there, Habado, Shihaba, you know go fit handle. Hey, just want to remind our viewers we are live. We are streaming live on our socials, on Facebook and YouTube. Yes. Just tell a friend to tell a friend that, look, we are live, and tag a friend to tag a friend offline, online and offline. Look, Gospel PR is live. It's live. Last week was spoken word. This time it's performing arts. So performing arts incorporates dance, music, spoken word. I mean, everything that has to do with the arts. And we're actually going to delve into the convo. So they were here last year, and then they are back again. One is a familiar face on Dominion TV, and the other comes once in a while. So it's a convo that we delve into Global 360, and then the Light It Up segment. We are discussing the performing arts, the role of the church concerning the performing arts space in Ghana. I'm joined by Edem Ed-Bansa. She's the executive director for Big Step Theatre. Edem, good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Dave.
Time flies, oh. Time flies. Yes. Last year, the last time we came, we were just getting ready for your annual conference 2023. Yeah. And at Sunday, this year, there's another one. Are we all set? Are you set for this year?
Yes, we are ready. We are ready. We are ready for next week.
You are ready for next week? Yes. Are the poets ready? Are the dancers ready? Is everybody ready?
Yes. I believe so. We are ready, so? Yes.
So I'm sure we'll be delving into it after the conversation.
That's true.
And of course, the man himself, the host of Intune Extra, some call him Mark the promo guy. We call him Mark the Sun. Boss, welcome to the show.
Charlie, it's an honor. It's an honor. I say it all the time, and I mean it. Like, it's an honor to be on your show. It's an honor to be talking with you. I come with full respect.
You're always on the show.
Full respect.
You're always on the show. And I must say, Mark has been one of the people who has really encouraged me to do this. I mean, one of the pillars in the Christian media space. Look, he has experience. There is, call him versatility personified. I don't want to hype him, but look, he's got it. And he's so passionate about the performing arts. Mark, why are you so passionate about the performing arts? Tell me.
Genuinely, I don't know. But it's something I have loved since childhood. Yeah. And I think I became more passionate when I noticed that there are about 449 chapters in the Bible, out of the 1,189 chapters of the Bible, that gives living proof of the use of the performing arts in the purposes of God by God.
Wow.
And my passion for God and the Bible coincided with this kind of revelation, and I was like, whoa, this thing is deeper and bigger than I thought. Wow. And that probably is what erupted my passion and everything into it. But yeah, I find myself captivated.
So we're ready to actually delve into the convo. We are discussing the performing arts in Ghana, which of course includes dance, drama, performance, poetry, etc. What should the church do with the performing arts? What should the church do with it? And I begin with Edem. Edem, off air, we're actually discussing the performance arts industry. Do you think we really need to pay attention to it? Haven't you gained attention already?
Well, I don't think we've gained the needed attention.
Oh, Edem, we did.
There is attention,
because there are dancers all over. Every event, there are dancers who come and dance.
Yes.
I mean, there's a spoken word performance. Even there's music. What do we need to do again?
So I think what is left is being able to understand clearly where it sits in God's plan.
Okay, I get that.
Okay. So at the moment, we have understood it as something that is somewhat needed in our various events, just like you've mentioned, either to enhance the atmosphere, to engage some other people who need to be engaged, or to give some flavor to something that we are doing. That is happening, and granted, so it's not a bad thing. But I think that what is left is being able to understand where it situates in God's plan when it comes to what He wants to do, how the church needs to live its mandate on the earth till Christ comes. And I think that is what is left. Until that aspect is gotten clearly, we'll keep relegating it to where it is, just an accessory to everything else, and not exactly the weight that it can bring to the assignments we have been given as a church on this earth.
Why isn't the church giving enough attention to performing arts in Ghana?
Well, you can't blame the church too much, but then again, you say with the time that we've spent on earth, you expect the church to have evolved a bit in understanding the situation. Humanly speaking, most of us are mostly afraid of nuances, things that we are uncertain of, things that we do not know. And so when we see one thing go wrong at one point, we are unsure of bringing it in. So I guess the church has been protecting itself, let me say, so that you do not give room to something, one, you do not understand, or two, you see it as being the cause of many other vices out there that you do not want to import into your church. So on that aspect, I will say the church is trying to be protective of what they believe should be the right way to live. So in my point of view, I'll say that's the reason the church is probably not giving that room.
Well said, Edem. Mark, one would say, of course, the church has given attention to music. I mean, almost every church has a choir. Yes. So they pay attention to it. Yes. Mm-hmm. Do you think that maybe other forms of the performing arts like dance, like performance poetry has been relegated to the background? And why do you think it is like this?
Well, like you said, music is a performing art, live music, okay? And it has its prominence. Almost every church has a choir and everything. Probably because right from the beginning, music has always been kept safe. You know, music has been instrumental in the purposes of God. Look at Exodus 6 rather, the destruction of Jericho. You know, it was music. It was a choir. It wasn't knife and swords and all that. Beautiful, okay? Beautiful. But I will cite 3 reasons why I think the performing arts is not really looked at. First of all, we've not looked well into the Bible to find out how God brought his message to us. Mm-hmm. Secondly, the performing artists themselves have not paid the price of consecration and anointing. We've been very lazy when it comes to spiritual things. We are changing, but we're not there yet. Mm. Yeah. And then the third is probably what Edem said. The church is being very conservative and not being open to Bible and the move of the Holy Spirit. Because if we are, we would notice that when right after deliverance from Egypt, from the Red Sea, Israel came out to the Red Sea. The 2 responses that came was dance and music. Yeah. Dance started it and the music followed. Miriam, that's Exodus chapter, I think 15 verse 21. Yeah. Miriam picked up tambourine, started dancing with the women, and the prophecy followed. Yeah.
Mark, haven't we seen the youth in every church exhibit dance, exhibit theater? Haven't we seen in our churches? We see it every time. Some churches, but I think it's become very popular. But you see, the trouble is that it has not become popular for what it's really worth. It's become popular as something that is nice to have, something that can keep the youths together, you know, something that can add as a supplementary, you know. But before we came in, I was citing this example to you that it would be an insult to Gobe. If you look at Gobe as something supplementary and not a meal on its own, you won't receive what Gobe, the worth of Gobe. And I think that is what happens. In Mark chapter 6, when Jesus went to his hometown, he was received, but only as a carpenter. And for that reason, they couldn't have him as the healer, you know, and that's the issue. So it's nice with the kind of reception it has, but that is not the true identity, the true biblical identity of dance in the Bible. So Mark, do you want us to get to a time where in every church service, we have a dance performance? We shouldn't wait for maybe like a worship service event, or it should be actually every Sunday back to back. Is that what you think we should actually get to?
Not necessarily. What I would say is that if every Sunday, every person, okay, and every choreographer has the liberty to express themselves in dance, just as the music, and all will be respected for it. That's number one. Number two, just as when a music minister is singing and we are open to receive and be led to worship through them, when a choreographer is also dancing and worshiping, we should also be ready, open to receive from them. That is possible. Every single Sunday there should be a dance ministration performance. If the group can do it, great, fine. But I don't think that is necessarily what we are pushing for. Primarily is the recognition of it as what it truly is in Bible. That is what is needed. From that point, whether you have a dance every single day, it's up to the congregation and what the Holy Spirit will want to do. in
Let me come
adoration.
to Edem. Mark just mentioned he was talking about recognition. Off air, I was telling you about the fact that you go to an Ed-Bansa event and you have dancers coming to dance whilst it's ministering. Isn't that the highlight of dance? I mean, we're having so many of them from Dunson to even Joe Metal. I think that most of them are actually consecrating themselves, and then we are seeing it.
Yes. So, like like when we were talking before we came on live, and I was telling you that it is a good thing.
Yes.
It's one part of the platform, but it's not the highest level.
It's not the highest level.
It is not the highest level. We have experienced dance ministrations. Mark was just talking about people being able to sit before a dance ministration and receive, like the way they prepare themselves to receive, at least from a music production, right? We have, maybe because we are dancers, but we have experienced that. I personally have experienced that where I sit before a dance ministration, and just before that ministration ends, just like how I would have been, would have felt worshiping when music is on, just like how I will receive a word from God when someone is preaching, I'm able to get that. There are times I'm able to get a clear message from God as I'm watching
You're
the
a
dance.
performer.
But I'm a performer.
Yes, but the one actually watching you perform, are they able to actually get that same anointing?
That is what I'm saying.
Tell them about 2020.
Yes.
What we saw.
Are there testimonies, people getting healed and all that?
Yes.
Yes.
You can go ahead and say
Okay,
it.
I seem to be a better storyteller. So this is 2020.
Yes.
Okay, University of Ghana, dance ministration.
Exactly.
And we decided to do a long form of worship dance, just that. Of course, everything that has a beginning has an end. The song ends and the dancers can't stop dancing. What they are dancing to, we don't know. The audience who came to watch a dance performance can't stop worshiping.
Exactly.
What song they are hearing, we don't know. Before we know it, the power of the Lord breaks through the dancers and the people in that. Somebody was healed from a 6-month-old diarrhea that day. Somebody was baptized in the Holy Spirit in the audience that day. I'm not talking about what they told me. I'm talking what I saw. I didn't have my glasses on that day, so I saw with my own eyes. The power of the Lord broke through the congregations, and I've seen it again at another place where after a dance ministration, the whole atmosphere is saturated with worship that both dancers and singers, with the music off, can't stop worshiping, and the power of God break through. That is what we are talking about.
Exactly.
And are these talents available in the church?
Are these, pardon?
Are these talents, giftings available in the church?
They are available to the church, in the church, if the church will allow the operation of it.
One would say that, look, when they are young, they are available. Maybe you guys are actually different. You're a different breed. But most often than not, what we see in most churches is that, look, when they are young, they are ready to be part of a dance group, a theater group. Then they get to a certain age and you're like, oh, let's leave it to the younger ones. Don't you think we should address this?
Yes.
Please, let this lady
Let me speak
it.
to that. You see,
Yes.
it's I've realized it's almost like a vicious cycle that keeps going. Okay, so if I'm in the church, when I'm in school, everything is exciting with the drama, the dance. Everybody's into some extracurricular something. So it's very easy to exhibit all of those things. When you come back home to the church, it's not there. It is left to something that the kids have to do or the youth have to do. The best people are able to do is I go and I'm at the university and it's still there, so I do it. But when I come back home, it's in the children's department. So if I did it in school, when I am about to leave school, I start preparing my mind to the fact that this thing has ended.
Okay.
And I start to look for something else to do. So you might find those who still want to serve in some sort of art end up probably in the choir if they have the ability to sing. Or they go to do something else. But it's because from the point of the church, we have consistently looked at this as either an entertaining thing or an occupying something.
Yeah.
And so if I'm leaving school and I have now become very spiritual, even with all the dance that I did, I realized spirituality is important. The only thing I'm thinking about my spirituality is going in to be maybe the Bible Sunday school teacher or 7 in the protocol, 7 in maybe even going into the pastoral sense, okay, being a pastor or something like that. That's the height of what I think about when it comes to my spirituality. But then how to translate what I did in school in church, because when I go, I don't find the platform for it. So then it continues like that. So as much as, so let me give, even for us as an example, if
and
not
even viewers, as you can just see on your screens, some of their performances from Big Step Theatre, you can see Mark and Edem doing their thing. And so were you guys acting or you were dancing or what? What we doing now?
I think these were
acts, and then we do drama, we do poetry, we do dance.
So at least
and there's so many other, not to take the wind out of the sea, but there's so many other performing arts that we are yet to explore. Puppetry, we've left our children to the hands of secular entertainment outlets. And these people, when they do their cartoons or whatever it is, you have there are things also in it that you don't want your kids to have. And to be honest, producing animated series is a difficult and expensive venture. I know because I'm an animator. It's not easy. So it's hard for the Christians to also get in because the world have taken ahead and so on. But puppetry and other forms of performing arts can easily reach out to these kids, from using dolls and all that. These are easy. Even radio dramas, they are things we can explore in. They are less cheap, but also very effective to capture the imaginations of our kids and then throw in Bible stories there. But because we have not looked at it, at the performing arts as a tool in that regard, we are not thinking about it. We are not exploring it at
all. So, Edem, let's go back to the entertainment bit. Of course, I mean, like you were saying, some see it more like as an entertainment platform. So you were saying that, look, we can go further. You can just continue what you're saying.
So basically, I'm saying that for even the church, let's pick the church for example. Everybody knows that to watch a movie in someone's mind is I'm taking leisure time, right? I'm watching a movie to relax or to entertain myself. So when a drama is coming up, even in church, people take it as, let's take the family for some relaxation time. So mostly, all we see when we think of performing arts is relaxation, entertainment, which is not bad. We are not saying we are entertainers. That's basic. It's not bad at all.
But there's more to that
But there's more to that. That's it. There are also the same church people who have watched one movie at least once and said, this movie spoke to me in this particular way because they saw the spiritual impact of it. But it's interesting to see that even though I watch one movie and realize the impact of it, I still can't translate that to my everyday drama group in my church and expect them to give me something like that. And that is where the disconnect is. So people keep looking at it from that point of view. And so if it is just an entertainment and it's something that the youth enjoy doing, then we just leave it there. Meanwhile, there are others who have stayed in this business for a long time in their old age, and they are carrying it with the power and everything that it has to bring out the gospel and to teach people more. If we watch a movie that's somebody 80 years or something doing, and we will enjoy it as a normal leisure, why is that difficult to think that in the church, someone who is 70, 80 can also act and give you the same message from God as your pastor will do? Do you get it? So it's just looking at it away, moving a little away from the relaxation and realizing that this is more than what it is. When someone puts a message on stage for me, is it the Bible they are teaching me? And the other thing you must understand is that until the church begins to see the performing arts that it has that, the church won't find the need to empower the performing artists to build themselves in that spiritual growth aspect, to bring them the meat that they need. They will consistently get water and milk from the performing arts instead of getting the meaty part of the performing arts.
Sure.
You get it? Yeah. So
I think my producer just hinted there's a video ready for us to watch. Yes. So if the producer is ready, let's just check out this video. I'm sure it's a drama.
We are almost in the forest. What is the meaning of this? Now you offend me. You offend me. How can you be afraid when I am man? You only very man, who gets standard. I am not afraid of anything. No one can touch my woman. Come and face me if you're a man. Nobody can touch my woman.
Oh, how we've been taken by surprise. Whoever thought we would wake to this misfortune? Our delights have done us more harm than good, where our taste buds craved unclean food. Our sin is always before us.
Then came to the world a commotion, its inhabitants weeping and wailing. Instead of fine cloth, a donning of sackcloth. And deserted we feel. A destroyer of nations has set out. He has gone out of his place to make the land a place of dry bones. The dry bones which will live again.
Against thee only have we sinned and done this evil in thy sight. Shine on our paths and give us light. Do death's dim doom. Rescue us, Father, so fear and panic will have no room.
Our souls long for freedom, for restoration.
Beautiful artistry skills, yes, theater, spoken word poetry, look, it has its role in the church. So quickly before we go for the Global 360 mark, one would say that maybe the performing arts, it's not as impactful as preaching or teaching when it comes to evangelism or discipleship. What do you have to say concerning this?
I agree.
You agree?
It's more impactful.
It's more impactful.
Yes, because Jeremiah
Yes.
prophesied to Israel
Yes.
for years and they didn't listen. So God picked Ezekiel and instead of prophesying the word, he made Ezekiel act the prophecy. Ezekiel chapter 4, Ezekiel chapter 12. He made Isaiah act same prophecy. Isaiah chapter 20. Where is this? Acts
So,
chapter.
Mark, do you now want our bishop to start acting and come with
No,
spoken word like
I'm coming there. I'm driving the car.
Yes.
I'm coming there.
Yes, drive.
I'm coming there. You see, God said something that these in the Ezekiel that these people are rebellious. They see, but they don't budge. Okay, so Son of Man, act before them. Perhaps they will see, and then they will ask. Okay, and it worked. God's drama worked. Okay, I'm saying that it has its place. There is a way that the performing arts can touch generations that preachings might not be able to touch, especially in the times that we are in. You see, fishermen go where the fishes are. They don't call fishes to come. The current generation we are in, they connect with these forms, the dance, the drama. Tell me, what reels go viral most? Is it the preaching ones or the funny acting ones? It's the funny acting ones. A pastor will spend time and plan his sermon and teach for 2 hours. And online, he has these 2 views.
So, Mark, this actually explains the fact that we need more of these things to actually propagate the gospel.
Yes, look at how War Room spread a revival for having a family prayer altar. How many preachings did you hear to start a family prayer altar for women and men to begin to pray for their marriage? It was a movie.
This is a call for the likes of the Ajitianans, of course, the playwrights that everybody's come together. Look, we are Christians. Let's come together. The big step theaters. Let's come together and propagate the gospel through what God has given to us.
It's a beautiful call. It's a beautiful call. It's before us that this is where the fishes are. This is where they connect. Last week, I was watching the show when Ellie and someone and then the rest were here. And Ellie was talking about the importance of relatability. How Paul went into Athens, yes, Acts 17:28, and he was quoting some of their poems. If people can't relate to what you are telling them or what they are seeing, you've lost them before you try to get them.
One would say maybe the elderly cannot connect with maybe spoken word poetry, with drama. This one is for the young people.
It's because we have made it so. Our
is it just you driven?
No, it's the artists who have made it so. Our older generations are used to poetry. Look at our patriotic songs. You think they're not used to poetry? They are used to, look at the proverbs that come in. They are used to it. But when we pick spoken word, because we picked it, unfortunately, from the Western world, we didn't take time to contextualize it into our culture and make it culture relevant and relatable. But rather, we are still doing Western. In our dressing, in our approaches, in our pants, in our allusions, almost every effect was that we didn't decide to do it like African proverbial African poems. Okay, I will commend my friend Nana Sasi for this. He kept it, but we need more people like that. That is why this might sound like I'm shooting shots, but please listen to me and hear my heart. This is why Nana Sasi gets called to some particular event of high class and impenyeful, and your average spoken word artist, although as good as him, is not called there. He will have to organize his own youth program.
Because of the local dialect.
Because they can relate.
African,
so let's contextualize the art as we have received him from wherever to make it culturally relevant so that we don't lose the older generations. Every generation has art and loves art, and they can be reached with art.
Awesome deliberations from Mark the Son. And then one who said that maybe the church has actually pushed away so many talents. Are they ready to actually accept the talents in the church?
As to whether they are ready is a question we keep asking, and but they should be ready. They should be willing to bring them back.
Will you say every church will have departments, maybe performing arts departments, every church? Maybe so before the pastor preaches, after the choir administration, there's a theater performance or there's a spoken word poetry performance.
So to have that department, I'll say it would be good to have that department. But just like Mark said earlier on, we are not saying that for every service there should be that. But it all comes to understanding the place of it. And then one thing I wanted to say when Mark was speaking was that every gift and every department, unit, or whatever it is that we find in the church is supposed to complement to do the work of God. So nobody is saying that performing arts should be used to replace the preaching per se. It should be used to replace the choir or whatever it is. But just like how the person who is going to stand and preach or the prophet who is about to prophesy sees music as a complementary unit to bring in whatever message they are on, that's what we are saying, that the performing arts should be seen as that, another arm that can be used to push the gospel, and then understanding where it sits can help. You mentioned something, you asked something about whether every bishop should now be acting. No, we are not asking the bishop to act, but the bishop to understand where the acting can fit in their story. I'll tell you one thing that gave me one more confidence in this thing that I do. I used to listen to Creflo Dollar a lot when I started working somewhere 2010. Always at 6 a.m. It was on TBN. I used to watch that anytime I get to the office. And then one thing that I identified was one sermon he preached. He was talking about heaven and hell also. And then he talked about how, because we have heard so much about heaven as a Christian, if you didn't live your life well, you die, and the next thing you think, immediately you wake up from wherever you find yourself in eternity, you start walking towards the pearly gates or the beautiful gates, right? So you get there and they tell you that, please, you are not welcome here because you didn't do life well. But I'm saying this, and this stayed in my mind because he didn't just say it. Funny enough, he that day acted with his actors. He acted as a dead person who had just woken up, and as he was preaching, he was acting it out. So that picture stayed in my head a lot. It gave me some confidence in the things that I do. When the Bible tells you that perhaps they will see and they will understand and they will ask. That thing that he did for his church that day, I believe stayed with a lot of people, like it has stayed with me for 14 years now, right? And has taught me something about living life right, so that you don't expect that because you just became Christian, everything is fine, and you end up there. So it has its place. We just need to understand it and know how to incorporate it in the service, in the propagating of the gospel, and then doing the purpose of God throughout each.
Awesome deliberations by Edem. And Mark, there's been an upsurge of dance challenges. I mean, it's secular Christian dance challenges. What is your view concerning this? Can it also be used to also propagate the gospel?
There's the part of dance which is recreational. Okay, that is the beautiful thing about the performing arts that we have it. That it's a nice bridge.
Yeah.
We can go under the cover that we are just entertaining, but through that entertainment we can push in the gospel.
Yeah.
So I don't mind quote unquote such dance challenges and so on and so forth. It gives Christian dancers an opportunity to also explore their skills and talents. And the more you explore your skill, the more you grow and you better in it. So I'm not against it. But again, if that is all that dance will be looked at, if this is all that we can expect from dance, then I would ask that let's shut the whole thing down. Because at the end of the day, we are spoiling it, because it's better than that and it can be used more meaningfully when it comes to the purposes of God.
Okay, so one would say that even in the secular space, performing art is not really doing too well. Of course, the likes of Abel White has done amazing. He's been consistent over the years. One would say maybe it's a general thing. And that's, of course, even the church is not doing its bit. But even when you look at Ghana, you look at what is happening. How many drama events can you even attend? Isn't it a national thing than just being a church issue?
You are speaking something very core. I've seen over the months or the years past where performing artists, especially the stage actors, have advocated severally for performing arts to have some kind of platform. I think recently we realized that the National Theatre was doing an annual performing arts conference, okay, trying to draw people's attention to its place. I think that as the world changes and things grow, people begin to lose the benefits of certain traditional things. Going to the theatre used to be the thing for some people, but it gets to the point where things are changing. Again, if I will go to the theatre for entertainment, for drama to watch and everything, now I have movies and videos all over just around me. So just like how we are advocating for remote working so we can sit in our office, in our house and do the work so we don't have to go to an office. The same thing, if I can get entertainment in my house, why will I get up and go? So it is definitely something that is happening. I don't think it's just even Ghana. I think it's generally. It's a general thing. That's when it comes to these things, going to places and sitting, things are changing. People are beginning to see differently. And for the generation that are coming, if they don't see much of this, and soon even the new generation will not see the essence of, let's say, going to a theater to watch something because I can get it on my phone. You get it. So I think that is there. But we as Christians are supposed to always show the difference. Unfortunately for us, for some of these things, we always wait for the world to show us the difference, and we say we are redeeming it or buying it back. But we are supposed to be the trailblazers, if I should call it that way. Okay, so we should be able to change the narrative and show the world how it's done. If it can work in the way it's supposed to work, if we can remind the world that theater is that tool that you are able to use to shape society, shape the mindset of people, change situations in the world, then the world can come back and realize that, oh, this is something that can be used as well. I think it's generally because movie and then, should I say, digital things are on the rise. So some of these things
it's actually to our benefit that the market has gone down. So let it die in the world and let it be reborn in the church. It's a good opportunity to represent theater to the new generation. Imagine if theater goes down totally in the world, but there is still theater going on in the church. Or theater is being done by people who are missionary minded and all that. So you go for entertainment, but you always get a shot of the gospel, a shot of reality, a shot of morality. Then we redefine it. It is good that the market is going down like that. It is for the benefit of the church, so that as it dies in the world or dies to the world, it can be reborn in the church. Then we can actually dictate the status quo to a new generation.
Mark, now let me come to the theater groups, like the big step theaters and all that. One would say that we need you guys to organize more events for us to actually attend. Is it also a lack of interest from your people, from gifted poets, gifted actors? Is it from your camp or our camp?
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle because, you see, it costs to put up a stage production.
Exactly.
It's a lot, from your sets to your
costume. So there's a financial aspect to it.
Yes, from your sets to your costumes to your stage and all that, your lights, and it costs to do it. But then that cost is manageable when you have a market. People are willing to pay tickets or do it, or churches are willing to sponsor their altar area as the stage. I'm careful to say that, and all that. So, but when there's support and slow advocacy, there will be minimized or slow performances and shows and events. But if that support comes in, then we'll have it more. So it's a cycle. Now, who to break the cycle? I would say the performing artists, and let me speak directly to my fellow performing artists, that, listen, we need to sow the seeds and make the sacrifice, sweat and bleed for it to come out. This is how Christian hip-hop did it. When the big guys, now we know them as big guys, started it, they were recording in their closet and doing shows for free for people to come and watch, paying for things. And so now Leclerc can tour the world and still have a lot of people coming in. But it wasn't like that. We also, as performing artists, need to pay such a price. You know, get money in, just do consistent content out there. And the beautiful thing is that, you see, because of mass communication, social media, you can do a lot of things within a small space, shoot it and put it up, shoot it and put it up. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. In fact, decide that your one-piece drama, just post it every week, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. You will get audience. That little money, that little support can do something. So we need to pay that price, and hopefully we need churches to also sponsor in. Case in point, we have a church that had decided that we did a drama piece recently in August, and somebody saw it. The church has decided to sponsor us for us to restage it in their church. And another church can do this. Is how churches can help us support your native theater group, and then support other theater groups also. This is how I think we can go around.
So, Mark, well said. So just before we go on the break, I just want Edem to actually answer this question. Edem, there are so many performing artists who have left the space. They've ventured into other careers. They'll be like, look, performing arts doesn't pay. It's not even recognized. What can we do to bring them back into the space?
So
it's a calling.
Yeah, it's
can
a
it
calling.
can
That's
it also
the
be
point.
a career? Like, so many of them have left the space into other ventures. Can we bring them back into the space?
We can bring them back into the space, but I think that it will begin from the calling bit. Especially when I'm talking Christian performing arts now. It will begin from the calling bit. So when these people begin to realize that there is a part of their calling, or their calling is in the performing arts, and they begin to focus on that, then gradually it will bring them back into the space. But then through that, and like Mark has talked about the support and all, when the support is growing because they are investing time in the calling bit, they can soon make it a career. There are others too who have been able to sacrifice and make it a career from day one. And it's, to be honest, it's difficult to make the money at the beginning. Just like Mark is saying, if I am an artist who is going to push money into my art, meaning I'm not getting, I am pushing in.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I am struggling with the finance already. And that can tire anybody out. Even with the pastoral, when we know stories where people start going to pastoral and they feel like the money is not coming and everything, some give up and then they forget that it was a calling in the first place. But when we begin to start from the point of view of where God has placed us, why did God call me? Why am I on this earth? If God called me for a purpose and that purpose has performing arts in it, I will focus on that one way or the other. Build myself there. And as I am building myself there, doing that which is God's will. We've heard the stories many times, people go into ministry, it's not working from the beginning, but they keep up, they stay with God consistently. And sooner or later, God opens that door. I think with everything that comes with Christian service, ministry, God expects our yes first. And when that yes comes, He knows how to pull us through to the end. So I think people can make it that, so far as they commit to that part.
And when that yes comes, He knows how to pull us through to the end. So we've not ended the convo. We'll go for a break, and of course we'll come back to wrap up on the annual conference. Yes, it's been an insightful conversation with Mark and Edem concerning the performing arts in the Christian space. And we're back after the break. It's Gospel P on Dominion TV.
It's time to take action and create your prosperity.
Hi there, this is Lucy Chris, author of the book and convener of the conference, The Bold New Normal.
There's always a connection between our stories. We shouldn't think that we're going to create a bold new Africa just as one person.
I would like to personally invite you to this year's Paradigm Shifting Conference. In addition to our seasoned speakers who you must hear, I will host the masterclass.
Make a date at the Pearly Gates Gardens, East Legon, on Saturday, October 26, 2024.
It starts at 8 a.m. sharp.
Purchase tickets at lucychris.com and Eagle Tickets, or dial *713 *33 *121 hash.
Don't want to miss this.
The Bold New Normal Conference. Take action and create your prosperity.
Oh, Oh, come let us worship and bow down before the Lord our Maker. It's the second edition of the Worship Convocation themed Dunamis Acts 16:25, which comes off Friday, November 1st, 2024 at Victory Presbyterian Church, Adenta Frafraha from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Get ready for a spirit-filled experience. Ministering are CC Baby, Efe Grace, Perez Music, Sandra Boachidria, Kwekute, Brian Kufo, and Amaglo. Also ministering Victory Voices, Ekothia Flozakwa, Vivi Ajay, Rose McCaffrey, and Nanama Hayford. Come with expectations and encounter God in ways you've never before. For sponsorship and further information, please call 024-366-9505. Sponsors: Media Partners, Footprint TV, Praise TV, Dominion TV, and Sunny FM. Don't miss out. Follow The Worship Convocation on Instagram and TikTok for updates. See you there.
Get ready to wake up to a new day, a new mood, a new vibe. Wake Up Africa on Dominion TV.
I wanted to make it a surprise. Why? You know, I knew the dramatic appearance would excite everyone.
I've been looking for you for a very long time.
Why are you so intimidating?
But just complain that I'm fat.
But you are fat.
Yeah, it's my son.
Give me what I want and I will set you free.
Stop. Jesus has set me free. Yes, Lord.
If you just tune in, you are watching Gospel P on Dominion TV. We've been having a wonderful convo with Mark and Edem about the performing arts in Ghana, the Christian perspective, what the church can do with it. And we are summing it up with our annual prayer conference, Big Step Theater. Last year was something else. I know this year will be mind-blowing. So Edem, please tell us about the conference.
So this year's theoretically annual prayer conference is coming off from the 16th of October to the 19th of October. We are focused this year on building, calling out the harvest. We are saying that the harvest is now, and for every performing artist to cry out for that harvest and to find themselves on the field.
On the field.
To pick their own wheat. Yeah. The period is for prayer, like we said, and then it's for us to pray for the performing artists this time. Last year we focused on the performing arts in general. This year we want to focus on the individual performing artists. And then also being the time that we are in Ghana, and then we are in Ghana as well, we want to turn our attention also on the nation, praying for our nation as we know the seasons that we are in, and also for the place of the performing arts in the nation, especially in times like this. So that is the focus of our prayer conference this year.
Awesome. Mark, tell us about the speakers for this year.
Sure. We outline Robert Hinkra. He's going to lead us in prayers to pray for Ghana. That guy's passion for Ghana and prayer, I don't know. Listen, you don't have to come willing and ready to pray. You just come. He will make you pray by God's grace. He has that anointing. We have Apostle Solomon Reku Jr., and he has a heart for ministers, you know, and we want him to lead us in prayers of consecration and sanctification for the performing artist or the performing artist minister, whichever way you want to go. We have Apostle JFK Mensa. Yes, the Walking Bible, he's called. He's been a good follower of, he was an actor, stage actor himself. Many people don't know that. So he will give us the apostolic charge for the performing arts for the coming year. Myself, I'll be leading the anointing service. Edem will be leading devotion. And of course, last week, Ellie was here. Elisa Blah is also on board, will be leading us in various devotions. Listen, I want to say something real quick. In I think it's 2 Timothy 2, 20, I think it's 20 and 21 says, in a large house there are various vessels, some of wood, clay, and some of silver and gold, you know. Some for noble purposes, some from ignoble purposes. Whoever purges himself from the latter, that is ignoble purposes, he will be used as a vessel of honor. You know, when a paper sits on a desk, it's called tissue. When it finds itself in a small room, it's called toilet paper. It's how you set yourself apart and your gifts apart determines what you are called. If performing artists can push themselves into levels of sanctification and consecration, they will not be called entertainers. They will be called ministers.
Awesome deliberations from Edem and Mark. It's been a wonderful time with you on the performing arts and in the church. I'm sure we'll do this again. Thanks so much. So, we'll go for a break, and when we are back, we'll wrap up the show. Gospel PR.
I don't think I can do this job, Tim. As soon as I lay down, all I see are those kids' faces. How long you been doing this? 12 years. How do you do it?
It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen. It has already passed the illegal arms trade, and soon it's going to pass the drug trade.
Señor Timoteo, tú rescatas niños, ¿verdad? Quizá puedas ayudarme a encontrar a mi hermana.
Imagine walking into a room right now, seeing an empty bed. What will we do?
We're Homeland Security. You know we can't go off rescuing kids in Colombia.
Gospel PR. Now, we want to wrap it up, the Light It Up segment. I've been joined by Paul Semeh. He's a founder and ex-director for Street Children Empowerment Foundation. I know they have an event coming up. Paul, good to see you. Good to see you. I mean, pleasure is ours. Tell us about the event, everything about the event.
Okay, thank you so much. Free the Children is a campaign that we have started to put light on something we have forgotten, and the normality that have been normalized. What I mean is that we have a lot of children in our homes, in our chobas, in our street corners that have been exploited. It grows to the point that internally kids are being trafficked. They are being moved from villages to urban centers. That's how we see them, and somebody is benefiting from them, collecting money. Then the worst part is that as our country is getting tougher, we have a lot of young people who are being trafficked outside. So we have a modern day slavery happening right before our eyes. Our kids in shackles right in front of us, and we are pretending not to notice. So what we are doing is we are telling Ghana that come out and watch something that is growing bigger than even the drug trade, which is child trafficking. World over, celebrities, Christians are rising up in arms against this trafficking. And so this movie we are showing next week, Friday, October 18th at the AMA Omanyaba Hall, is more to bring people to light, bring people to an awareness that God's children are being destroyed. And we are watching. So we want to awaken the conversation, talk about it, not just watch a movie, have a discussion about it, and see how we can take this out there. We have all heard about the recent Jackpot movement, where a lot of young people are using all sorts of means to go out there, not knowing what they go and fall in there. We saw a report on TV3 where young men were being put in the war front of Russia. They were fleeing from here. They didn't know what was going to happen, and right there. And if you look at several sectors, like even Galamsey, we've had kids there that have been trafficked because of money, the greed and the crave for money. Yes, so we have also joined this campaign. We say, fix the country, because if the rights of children are being violated repeatedly and the state does not protect its children, it gives room for internal trafficking. It gives room for international trafficking. And this is what this Free the Children campaign is about.
So finally, just wrap it up for me. Our viewers are watching you. How can they support this? And how can they get tickets and all that?
Okay, so our viewers, like you saw roll on the screen, can just dial the short code there and they can get tickets to support this campaign. Or they can just walk to AMA Hall on 18th. We're starting from 5 p.m. Omanyaba Hall, and they would be awoken to this. So we are calling on Ghana. Please join us. You can also call this number to be part of the campaign. You can call 0242 930 284. 0242 930 284. And you can be part of this campaign.
Awesome. Look, this is an honorable call, and we'll be there to support you. So you'll be hearing Mr. Paul Semeh, the founder and ex-director for Street Children Empowerment Foundation. Look, this is honorable. God sees it, and God bless you. It's been a wonderful episode of Gospel PR. My name is Dave Hazel. I'm 11th episode. Next week we come again with another exciting episode. Gospel PR is around.